Well, good evening, everyone. Hope you are having a wonderful Tuesday evening wherever you are. We are now in the next game on the April 26th block of the Super Advanced Strat-O-Matic American League replay. There'll be one more game left in the block, and that is the final game on April 26th, which is the Yankees in Cleveland, and that is Tom Candiotti against Tommy John. But we're going to finish this April 26th block next to last game with Oakland and Seattle. Hello, Craig. How are you doing? Good to see you. The Mariners and the A's, the surprising Oakland A's, they are the surprise team of the league, no doubt, as they are way ahead of their real life one-loss record, just playing very, very well. Hello, Ben. Hello, Tim. Hello, Utah Mike. Hello, Robert. Since you are on your all-star break, I figure I could start earlier and get done earlier. So it is Oakland and Seattle. Dick Williams and Tony La Russa, the two managers for the two teams. And starting pitchers for today's game, Mike Trujillo for the Mariners and Jose Blame It on Rijo for the Oakland A's. Seattle enters the game 8-10, but Oakland enters 14-4. That's the hello from the left coast, DJ. Good to see you. Oakland 14-4, so they're way ahead of what they did in real world. All right, ballpark effects for Oakland did not turn out very well. Singles 1-3 and homers 1-5, both for lefties and righties. And I didn't write in this is April 26th, 1987. It is game number 126 of however many there is for the full season, 1,000 something, I think. So let's get this game started. Jose Rijo finishing up the warm-up tosses. On the replay, Rijo is 2-0. Didn't write that in. He is 2-0 with an ERA of 3.86, 21 innings pitched, 16 hits, 10 walks, and 19 strikeouts. So Jose Rijo finish up the warm-up tosses. Let's go through the lineup very quickly. For Seattle, Donnell Nixon, Phil Bradley, Scott Bradley catching, Phelps the DH, Davis at first, the Hound Dog Jim Presley at third, Kingery in right, Quinones at short, and Mr. Wish I'd have stayed on baseball tonight and not played in the major leagues, Harold Reynolds at second base. Luis Polonia, Alfredo Griffin, Carney Lansford. Jose Canseco's DH, and they have Reggie Jackson in right field. That's an interesting twist. Mark McGuire at first, Tettleton, Javier, and Mike Lecco Gallego finishes out the lineup. Hello, Mr. Al. Hope you're cleaning something. Cleaning is not very fun, but sometimes it's necessary. So hopefully this will provide some brightness to your cleaning prowess. All right. Oakland looking to clean up against Seattle as far as the cleaning goes. So Donnell Nixon will lead it off. He's hitting 326, 2 homers and 43 runs. 2 homers and 7 runs batted in, 43 at bats. So we're ready to go here from Oakland, Alameda County Coliseum. That's a 6-5, and that's going to be an in-home run chance throughout the bat, 1-6, but that's a 10. So it's just going to be a deep fly to left field for Donnell Nixon, as he'll come up a little bit short, and Javier will make the catch. I got a little frog in my throat for some reason. I don't know why. So there's one away, and that brings up Phil Bradley, left fielder. And Bradley struggling, hitting 188, a homer and 6 runs driven in, and 69 at bats. So he needs to get it. He needs to get it going for Seattle. 4-6, and he just did there, a single. So got to start somewhere. Long journeys start with small steps. So Phil Bradley with the single now. Look at the pitcher-catcher interface. Jose Rijo's a -1. So let's look and see if Bradley can get the lead or not. To do so, he needs a 2 through 5. So he's going to try for that lead. And he does not get it, so he will hold. And, of course, they will hold him on. And that brings up the other Bradley, Scott Bradley, no relation to Phil. Scott Bradley, the catcher, is hitting 243, no homers, 6 runs driven in the first havoc roll of the game. And nothing's happening. So here's Bradley. 2-3 for Bradley's a pop-up to second base, and Gallego calls for it. 2 down. And it'll be all up to the DH, Ken Phelps. Designated hitter Ken Phelps, he is hitting .313 and 48 at-bats, 5 home runs and 15 driven in. So 5 home runs and just 48 at-bats. Nothing on the havoc. Here's Phelps. 5-9 against the lefty, and that's a strikeout. So Rijo gets the K on Phelps, and Seattle will go rather meekly in the first. No runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Seattle nothing, and Oakland will be coming to bat against Seattle right-hander Mike Trujillo. Trujillo on the replay is 1-2 with an 8.59 earned run average. 15 innings pitched, 25 hits, 6 walks, and only 1 strikeout. So the walk-to-strikeout ratio is horrible. He had a 6.17 earned run average in real world. Right now he's got an 8.59, so he's really having a hard time of it. But he will be in there as a starter against the A's. Pitcher-catcher hold interface for Trujillo is a 0, as Bradley's a +2 and Trujillo's a -2, so it nets out to a 0. And Luis Polonia will lead things off. It's only his 3rd game of the season, and right now he's 1 for 8, a 125 average, no home runs or runs batted in. 4-9 against Trujillo. That's bad news. 1-2 is a double. Anything else is a single. That'll be a leadoff single for Luis Polonia. Leadoff single, and Polonia might be looking to get the lead. 4 through 6 would do it. And he does not get the lead. Misses it by 1 number. And here comes Alfredo Griffin, the shortstop. Griffin hitting .246, no homers, 2 driven in. That's a .310, and that's going to be a fly ball to right field. And that is hauled in out there by Kingery. 1 away. Retreating to first is Polonia. That'll bring up Carney Lansford, solid 3rd baseman. And on the replay, though, he's hitting .290, which is right on his average. He had .289 in real world. Right now he's hitting .290. 2 homers and 13 driven in. Whoa, got hopping dice again. Let's try that one more time. 5-11, and that's a fly ball right field X going right back to Kingery. Kingery is a 3. 3-17, he will get to that. He's an E3, and that's an 11. I don't think that's going to be a problem. E3 and an 11. E3, the only errors he can make are 3, 18, and 15, so Kingery will make the play again. 2 down, and that'll bring up Mr. Canseco. He is doing the DHing in this game while Reggie Jackson plays right field, even though Canseco's a little bit better outfielder. So, Canseco on the replay hitting .242, 5 homers and 9 driven in. See what he can do against Trujillo. 2-2, and that's a ballpark blast. But it's a 1-5, and that's an 8, so it's just a deep fly to left. So Oakland Coliseum cost Canseco a home run as Phil Bradley puts it away to end the inning. So nothing doing for the A's. They get a leadoff single and get nothing else. 1 inning's in the books, and it's no score from Oakland. Again, the final game of the April 26th block will be the Yankees in Cleveland. Tommy John against Tom Candiotti. Couple of Toms going at it. So Rijo back out. He'll be facing Alvin Davis, Jim Presley, and Mike Kingery. So Davis hitting .300 right on the nose. 3 homers, 6 driven in. That's a 4-7, and that's a solid single to right field for Alvin Davis. Leadoff single. Davis will not be held, will not try to go anywhere. And here comes the hound dog, Jim Presley. Presley is in .154. He's really struggling. 2 homers and 6 driven in. He's walked 5 times, struck out 22. So he's definitely having his issues. 5-2, and he's going to continue to have issues. It's a ground ball back to Rijo. It'll be a fielder's choice, 1-4. As the only play is to force, and they can't get the double play. It wasn't hit hard enough. But Rijo does get the lead dog and leaves the hound dog at first. So Presley at first base will not try to go anywhere, will not be held. And here comes Kingery, right fielder. Kingery hitting 304, 2 homers, 8 driven in. 4-7, and that's a solid single to right field. Now, does Presley want to try to press his luck and go to third? He runs at an 11. He was not being held, makes him a 12. From right field to third base is 2 more, is a 14. Reggie's a 0. 1 to 14, he can make it to third base. If they throw through, then Kingery can get to second. So what do the A's choose to do here? Reggie, being the veteran and the odds against him, he is going to hold on to that ball and throw it into second base, and they will allow Presley to take third, keeping the double play in order. And that brings up Ray Quinones. Infield back for that double play. Quinones hitting a $150, 60 at bats, no homers, 3 driven in. Rijo to Quinones, 412, and that's a walk. It's going to load the bases. I'm sorry, I looked at 112. 412, ground ball pitcher B, but with the infield back, that run's going to score. Run's going to score. It's a ground ball B, so the fielder's choice is only going to go 1 to 4. Once again, they cannot turn the double play. And it's an RBI ground out for Quinones. And Seattle grabs a 1-0 lead. Maybe Reggie should have thrown it to third, but you never know till it happens. Hello, Larry. How are you doing? See you. All right, so run is in, 2 outs. Quinones at first base. And Quinones not going to go anywhere. He has no speed. So he will hold. Now to bring up Harold Reynolds. That's a 1, so a chance of a wild pitch on Rijo. His wild pitch rating is a 12. 1 to 12, he uncorks one. And he does. So it's a wild pitch. And that is going to send the runner to second base. He's in scoring position now. Scoring position. Not being held on. Here's Harold Reynolds. He's hitting 214. No homers, 2 driven in. It's a 6-7. Switch hitter batting left is a walk. So the inning will continue. And we flip the order to Donnell Nixon. Clutch situation now. And Donnell Nixon in the clutch loses a hit on 1-7 and 1-9. So he's definitely anti-clutch. Rijo trying to get out of the inning. It's a 5-11. And that's a ballpark single check. It's only 1 to 3, and that 5 doesn't fit. So it'll be a fly ball to right field, and that's going to end the inning. So the Mariners get a run, but that's all they get. They could have got more, but they only get the 1. And we go to the bottom of the second. Seattle 1, Oakland 0. But, of course, Trujillo, not exactly your best pitcher in the world, so you got to figure Oakland's going to score some runs. So Trujillo back out. We'll face Reggie Jackson. Hot Dog Jackson. He is in right field for this game. Jackson is hitting 210, 2 homers, 8 driven in 62 at-bats. He hit 220 in real world on the season. 5-5, and that is a fly ball to right field, put away by Kingery. 1 away. 1 down for McGuire, who was the Rookie of the Year in 1987. And McGuire on the replay is hitting 231. 2 homers, 5 driven in, so he's off to a slow start. 5-10, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at the third baseman, Presley, a 2 E24. 2-13, he will get to that. E24, what does he have to avoid as a third baseman for an E24? He has to avoid 9, 12, 15, 18, and 3. And he does with the 6, so it's a good play for Presley to throw out McGuire. 2 down. Brings up the switch hitting catcher, Mickey Tettleton. Tettleton is hitting 226, which is still better than what he did in real world. He only hit 194 in real world. But in 31 at bats, he's hitting 226 with 4 homers and 6 runs batted in. 6-9, switch hitter batting left-handed. 6-9 is a solid single to center field for Tettleton. The inning continues. Tettleton will not go anywhere. Brings up Stan Javier, left fielder. Limited duty for him. 21 at bats. He's only hitting .095 with a homer and 3 runs driven in. So not much there for Javier. He is a good defensive outfielder, though. 210, and that's would it be a single? It's still going to be a single because the clutch does not come into effect because the runner's not in scoring position, so the single will stand. And Tettleton, who does not run all that well, will hold at second base. So first and second, 2 singles after the first 2 are out, and Mike Letgo Gallego's up. He's a recent call-up as well, so he has limited duties. He's had 2 at-bats. He's 1 for 2, hitting .500. No homers and 1 run batted in. So Gallego looking to tie this game. 3-2, and he doesn't. He fouls out to Bradley behind the plate, and that's going to do it for the A's. They get 2 singles, but nothing else to show for it. And we go to the third. Still 1-0 Seattle. Trujillo holding his own so far. Rijo back out. Will be facing Bradley, and Phelps. Sounds like a bad law firm. Phil Bradley will be the first one up. He singled in his first attempt. See if we can do this time around. 3-8 for Bradley is a split chance, and the 1-7 is a single. That's an 11, though, so it will be a line out to short. So Bradley lines out to short, and there's 1 away. That will send up the other Bradley, Scott Bradley, the catcher. He popped up to Gallego his first trip. 4-7, and that's going to be a solid single off of Rijo. 1-out single. Bradley will not go anywhere, will not be held. And here comes the powerhouse, Ken Phelps, who struck out his first chance. Phelps looking to get hold of one. 1-6, he doesn't, gets hold of a bunch of air. It's another strikeout. So Phelps with the whiff. So in History Maker, he would definitely be a whiffer. No question. All right, here's Alvin Davis. He singled his first chance. That's a 2, so it's a chance of a balk or a pass ball. We're looking at a balk chance. Rijo's balk rating is a 10, so this could be a balk potentially, as he is a 10 rated balk rating. But that's 19. He does not balk, so balk is not called. 3-5, and that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else is a double. That's a double. So we'll see if Bradley can try to score. The double is assumed to go to center field. Center fielder Poloni has a 0 arm. Bradley runs at a 10, was not being held as an 11. 2 outs makes it a 13. So it's a 1-13 if they want to try to send him. And they will throw through. So 1-13, he will score. And he's thrown out by, we're going to say Polonia to Griffin. So we're going to call it 8-6-2 on the assist, as the double from Alvin Davis, but produces the out. And it's going to go 8-6-2 as they got Bradley being too aggressive. And that's going to end the inning. But they thought the odds were in their favor and just didn't work out. So Alvin Davis gets a double, but has nothing to show for it as Seattle comes away empty-handed, thanks to the high D20. So bottom of the third we go, and it's Trujillo. Hello, Dan. How you doing? That's okay, Dan. You can lurk. I lurk a lot in some of these videos, some of these games people play. I sit there and listen and watch, and I don't type any comments. I just kind of relax and enjoy what they're doing and don't really have a whole lot to say, so I just hang out. You know, nothing wrong with that at all. All right, here's Polonia, top of the order. 6-6, left-handed, struck him out. So Polonia out on strikes. First strikeout for Trujillo. And Trujillo, one of the guys from Boston that came over in the Spike Owen, Dave Henderson trade. All right, here's Alfredo Griffin. 4-6, switch hitter batting left. That's a walk. So Griffin draws the 1-out walk, and he will be looking to get the lead. To get the lead, he needs a 2 through 10. That's pretty good odds to get that lead. He does. That's a 15. He holds a 13, 0 there. So 1 to 13, he'll steal it. And he does. Stolen base for Griffin. He gets into scoring position. Does Griffin. And for Griffin, that is his, wow, that's his 9th stolen base of the season. He had 26 in real world. He's already got 9. That's impressive. Extra aggressive, and it's been paying off for him. He's got to be close to the league lead in steals with 9. All right, so Carney Lansford is up with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. Griffin is held at second base because he does run pretty well to 14, so they will hold him on. It's a 3-7, and that's a split chance. 1's a single, and else the line's out to short, but that's a 1. D20 comes as a 1. Doesn't matter what color I use, it always comes up 1, it seems like. So it will be a single, only 1 star. So runners on the corners. With only 1 out, with big Jose Canseco coming up, Lansford will be held. But I think with Canseco at the plate, they're not going to do anything as far as running goes, but they will have to hold him on. And Seattle playing back for the double play on Canseco. 1-8, and that's a strikeout. So didn't need the double play there. They got the strikeout, but they're still not out of the woods because they got to get Reggie Jackson out in a clutch situation. And Reggie in the clutch does lose a single on 1-2. And on 2-8, so anti-clutch there for Reggie. Might be Mr. October, but he's anti-clutch. That's a 1 chance of a wild pitch on Trujillo, which is an 18. If he uncorks it, Griffin will score. And he does, so it's a wild pitch that's going to tie this ball game. A wild pitch on Trujillo has tied the game. Not what Seattle was looking for. But Trujillo uncorked it. And now Reggie with a base hit could give him the lead. Lansford will be held at second. 1-7, and that's a strikeout for Reggie. That's going to end the inning, but that wild pitch has tied the game at the end of 3. We're tied at a run apiece here at Oakland. Tell you, when you're behind, you score any way you can. You'll take that free gift of a wild pitch all day long and twice on Sunday. So Rijo back out. Both starters have fatigue innings of 5, so bullpens will be active early, you would think. So the Hound Dog will lead things off, Mr. Presley. Hound Dog Presley. And let's see here. All right, Presley. Getting to a fielder's choice his first time up. But he did score the only run of the game for Seattle. 1-7, he will strike out. So the Hound Dog continues to have problems connecting with the pitch. That's his 23rd strikeout in the 67 at-bats. When you strike out 1 out of 3 at-bats, you're having issues. All right, here's Kingery. 6-5 to the lefty. In home run chance, 1-11. That's a 1. He does have normal power, so there you go. Mike Kingery has just put Seattle back in front. Look at it again. 6-5 against the lefty is a 1-11. And he's got normal power. And that, again, that D20 comes up as a 1. Doesn't matter what color I use, it comes up 1. So I don't know what the deal is on that. But Kingery hits his 3rd home run of the season, RBI number 9. And Seattle reclaims the lead 2-1. Mike Kingery, 3rd home run of the season. And that sends it to Ray Quinones. 2-7, and he's going to hit a single to center field. So they're getting to Rijo. Quinones will not be held. Here's Harold Reynolds. Walked his first chance. That's a 6-3. Switch hitter being left. Ground ball shortstop X. Quinones was not being held, so the shortstop Griffin keeps his original 2 in range factor. That could be important. And a 1 again. How many times can this thing come up as a 1? I don't get it. I don't know if it's loaded or what, but it's coming up 1 way too many times for my. And it doesn't matter what color I use. I can switch D20s. It's going to be the same. Just seems that way. So it's a base hit for sure for Reynolds. A 1 on a 2-rated shortstop is an SI1. Check for error, and Griffin's a 29, so he's got to avoid 11, 3, 17, and 18. 3, 11, 17, and 18. And it's 10, he barely does, but it will be a single 1-star. Thanks to that 1 on the D20. That's how Harold Reynolds finally gets a hit on the loaded D20. All right, so first and second. Hold on, I messed something up here. I didn't put something in the computer right. Let me fix that real quick. Get us up to speed. All right, the home run there, and then the back-to-back singles. Now we're straight. And Donnell Nixon, top of the order. 2 on, 1 out. Nobody being held. Nixon's 0 for 2. 2-7. He's going to be 0 for 3. That's a strikeout. So 0 for 3 for Donnell from the leadoff spot. Now clutch situation for Phil Bradley. Bradley's 1 for 2. 3-6, and that's a walk. Is going to load the bases. And now the other Bradley will have his chance with the bases full. Scott Bradley has popped to second and singled. Big shot here with the bases loaded to maybe blow this game open. 1-3. He does not. He lines it to Gallego at second, and that's going to do it. They leave him loaded. Could come back to bite him. Seattle does get a run on the home run off the bat of Kingery, but they leave him loaded, and sometimes that can come back to get you later in the game. 2-1 Seattle, bottom of the 4th, and Trujillo steps to the plate. And you know what I'm going to do, Ben? You know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to switch out D20s. I'm going to bring another green. I got 2 green D20s. I'm going to get another. I think this D20 came from season ticket baseball. So I'm going to eschew that when I go to another D20. So this is the culprit D20. I've replaced it with that D20. So I'm going to take this one out, as that one looked like it's pretty evil. We're going to try this one. It's a little bit different shade of green. We're going to try this one instead. All right, here is Mark McGuire. Mark McGuire grounded to third his first trip. And that's a 3-6, and he will draw the base on balls. So McGuire on with the leadoff walk. He will not go anywhere, obviously, will not be held. And it's the catcher, Mickey Tettleton, up. He's singled his first trip. Javier is on deck. And it's 1 again. I tell you, it doesn't matter what color I change, it goes to 1 again. I can't explain it. It was a 6, and the thing just leaned over to a 1. So wild pitch chance for Trujillo again at 18. And it's a wild pitch on Trujillo. Second wild pitch of the game for Trujillo in 4 innings. So I don't know what to do. These ones just keep coming up. All right, here's Tettleton. That's a 4-4 switch hitter, and that's a walk there. So back-to-back walks. Trujillo running into issues with these base on balls. And for Trujillo on the season now, in the replay, he's walked 9, struck out only 4. So when you're 2-to-1 walks to strikeouts, you're doing bad. You're really in trouble. Here's Javier. He singled his first trip. .310, and that's another walk. So yet another walk for Trujillo. And that's going to load the bases with nobody out. Trujillo now 10 walks and 4 strikeouts in 18 innings. That's just not going to cut it in the big leagues. Now here's Gallego. Seattle needs outs. They're going to play back for the double play. They'll give up the tying run to get the 2 outs if they can help it. Assuming the Trujillo doesn't walk anybody again. 2-6, and that's a ground ball shortstop edge. Exactly what they wanted. 6-4-3 double play. The run's going to score. We got a tie game, but Trujillo might get out of this with just 1 run allowed. No RBI given on the ground ball double play. And we flip the order over to Polonia, but now we are tied at 2. This is all Trujillo's doing with the 3 walks. You can't walk the bases loaded, expect to get away unscathed. So at third base is Tettleton with 2 outs, and here's Polonia. 5-5, and that is a split chance. One's a single. Fortunately, that's a 17 this time, so it's a line out to second. And we got a tie game. So both pitchers struggled in the 4th inning, but came away only with 1 run. The double play for Seattle certainly helped them out on that cause. And we go to the 5th. This is the fatigue inning for both pitchers. They both will start with their fatigue inning to keep track of. Rijo, Trujillo, both a 5 on the fatigue. So they've got to be careful with that. And Ken Phelps, who's 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, is going to lead things off, trying to avoid a hat trick. 5-8, and he does not. That's a strikeout. The dot's there, but he's not tired yet. So Ken Phelps wears the hat trick with 3 strikeouts, doing his Dave Kingman imitation. And here's Alvin Davis. He's singled and doubled. 5-9, and he's going to strike out again. Rijo with another strikeout. Again, the dot's there, but he's not tired yet. So back-to-back Ks for Rijo, and that brings up Presley. Hit into a fielder's choice and struck out. 0 for 2. 6-6, and that's a 1-3 triple. 15 will be a solid single for Presley. 2-out single. He will not be held for Kingery, who hit the home run his last time up, his 3rd home run of the season. Rijo has to be careful to Kingery. 5-3. Fly ball right field X. This could be trouble. That's Reggie Jackson. He's a 4. And you never know what you're going to get with Reggie in right field. 4-17, though, I believe he will be able to get to that at a fortunate D20 roll. 4-17 is an F2, so he's good to go on that. But the E10 could be problematic, and he's got a lot of numbers here on the E10. He's got to avoid 4, 16, and then 14, 15, 17, and 3. So basically it's a 3 and a 4, and then 14 through 18. That's what he's got to avoid. 3, 4, and then 14 through 18. And that is a 14. He does not avoid it. So as an E10, a 14 is a 2-base error on Reggie Jackson. 2-base error is going to send Presley to 3rd base. And that's what they get for playing Reggie in right field. But it is a 2-base error on Reggie. I don't think that LaRusse is going to pull him mid-inning like Billy Martin did, but he's put his pitcher in dire straits. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs for Quinones. 4-7, and that's a ground ball. 4-7 is a single to right field. So the error by Reggie certainly comes into play after the first 2 strikes out. We get a single for Quinones, and now we'll see if the runner on second can score. Kingery's a 15 as a trail runner was not being held as a 16. 2 outs makes him an 18. The single is to right field. Reggie has a 0 arm. So it's a 1-16. Well, they're going to try to. Reggie's going to try to. He's frustrated. He's going to try to throw him out, which means that Quinones can get second. That's an 18. Reggie threw him out. How about that? Reggie got pissed and threw him out. So he throws out the guy at the plate that he dropped the ball on originally. So Presley does score on the single by Quinones, but Kingery is out 9-2. And that's the second Seattle runner that's been caught at the plate, thrown out at the plate from the outfield. This one, Reggie did it. And Reggie trying to atone for the error, although his error did create an unearned run, so he didn't atone but so much. Can only atone just so much. But at least he got the runner out trying to score. So 2 runs didn't come in. So he minimized the damage. But Seattle does get a run. And Rijo has 2 things against his point of weakness, so he might be looking to be relieved here very shortly. And Trujillo back out now has a 3-2 lead, and this is his point of weakness inning. And he'll be facing Griffin, Lansford, and Canseco, heart of the order, for the Oakland A's. Griffin walked and scored his last time up. That's a 4-6, and he's going to draw yet another walk from Trujillo. So Trujillo, with these walks, and for Trujillo, it's the 5th walk of the game for Trujillo. And Griffin's going to be looking to get the lead again. Stole a base last time. He's going to try it again. Got the lead. 1-13. He will steal second base. And he does. It's a possible throwing error on Bradley. His T rating is a 6. And it's a 1 again. You believe that mess? So stolen base plus the throwing error on Bradley. And that's going to put the tying run Griffin at third base with nobody out. So it's like neither pitcher can tolerate a success. So Griffin's at third with nobody out, and Carney Lansford, the batter. Infield's going to play in. They don't give a cheap run. Even though usually don't play in with nobody out, but we're going to do it anyway. So Trujillo to Lansford. 2-6, and it doesn't matter whether you played in or not. 1-4 is a double, 5-20 is a single. It is a 5. It's a single. And now that run becomes earned because that would have been 2 stars. He would have scored from second anyway. So that does turn out to be an earned run against Trujillo. Not that it makes him feel any worse or better. It's a run. And now Seattle's bullpen is loosening. They do have action in the bullpen. And let's see who they've got down there. They've got right-hander Mark Huseman loosening in the pen. Trujillo on the brink of fatigue. Lansford not going to go anywhere. Here is Canseco. 4-7, and that's ground ball second base X, but Lansford was being held. So that means the second baseman Reynolds is now a 3E21 because he is responsible for holding the runner. He's a 3, and that could be a difference with a 3 and a 4. That can make a huge difference. An entirely different account here from a 2-4 to a 3-4. 2-4 was a G3, but we'd run the holding runner. It would have been a pound, so it would have been hit anyway. 3 and a 4 is the SI1, so Lansford will take second base on the single by Canseco. And now we are checking the error rating on Reynolds. He's an E21. He's got to avoid 4, 13, and 17. And that's a 13. Harold, didn't you learn anything watching yourself on baseball tonight? Come on now. E21, second baseman. 4 and a 13. What is that right there, Harold? That's a 13. I think you need some fielding practice. I think somebody better give you some fielding practice. And you better go back and watch your own material because you just committed another error. So that's going to send Canseco to second base and send Lansford to third. So it's going to be a single plus an error on Mr. Harold Reynolds. Put runners at second and third. Trujillo is now tired. And Reggie Jackson is your batter. Do they go to the bullpen here? They might have to, because with Trujillo being tired, I just don't like what he's got going on. So they're actually not going to bring in Houston. They're going to bring in a lefty. Bill Wilkinson will be coming on to pitch for Seattle, with the lefty Reggie Jackson coming up. So Bill Wilkinson will take over for Trujillo. Trujillo cannot win it. He could lose it. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. Let's get Wilkinson's numbers on the replay for Mr. Wilkinson. Jerry Reed is tired, so he's the only guy in the bullpen I can't use. So Wilkinson 1-1 with a save and a 5.68 earned run average. 6 innings pitched, 10 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. 9 strikeouts in 6 innings is excellent, and that's what he really needs right now. It's a strikeout of Reggie. Infield is in with runners at second and third, nobody out. Infield is in. Lefty on lefty against Reggie. 111 for Reggie. It's fly ball right field B question mark. That's a chance that there might be a sacrifice fly, and Lansford runs at a 13. Right fielder Arm Kingery, though, is a -2. So it'll be a 1-13 total if they want to try to send him. A 1-13. You know what? With McGuire coming up, they're going to hold him. They don't trust that D20. So Reggie's fly ball to right, not quite deep enough to take the risk. Third base coach holds him up with nobody out. And here's McGuire, but they're going to intentionally walk McGuire to load the bases, set up a double play, and take on the switch-hitting Tettleton, the catcher, who's a double play candidate. All right, nothing going on there. So bases loaded, 1 out, infield back for the double play. Lefty on switch hitting right-hander, 5-7. That's ground ball, second base X. Again, Reynolds will have another chance to redeem himself. He is a 2. 2-15, a little bit better for Harold. Maybe he learned something. 2-15 is a G1. This would be a double play as long as there's no error. And Harold is an E21, so he's got to avoid 4, 13, and 17. If he doesn't roll a 4, 13, or 17, it's a inning-ending double play. And what do we roll again, Harold? Did you not learn anything at all, Harold? Come on, man. A 13 again, really, Harold? Really? You had a chance for a double play to end the inning, and you booed it? E21, second base, E21, 13. Second time in a row a 13 has come up. Really, Harold? Come on, Harold. And Wilkinson's definitely upset. So scoring is Lansford. And that's the 3rd error of the inning. Second on the inning on Harold Reynolds, who obviously needs to go back and watch some more videotape. And what could have been a double play to get out of the inning is just more mess. And I tell you what, Dick Williams is not happy about it. He may be looking to pull Harold Reynolds. He might pull instead of pulling Reggie out of right field mid-inning, he might pull Harold Reynolds out of the infield mid-inning. All right, here's a switch hitter, Javier. The infield's still looking for the double play, as long as Harold Reynolds doesn't boot it. 1-8 against the left-hander. That's a ground ball, shortstop A. They're not in, so the plus doesn't count. It's just 6-4-3 double play. And Ray Quinones has to tell Harold Reynolds and show him how it's done. 6-4-3 double play. That's what that great managing move was set up to do, but Harold Reynolds blew my great managing move. So I had to depend on Ray Quinones to get it done. So 2 runs come in for Oakland. They are both unearned. Unbelievable. Actually, 1 is earned. The other 2 are not, if I counted it right. We'll figure out what the, because they're both runs are charged to Trujillo. So let's see what the Strat computer says before I make any claims that aren't factual. All right, Trujillo. Actually, they're calling all 4 runs earned. I don't believe that for a second. This guy's got to be unearned, but apparently not. Apparently not what they're saying. I don't buy that, but I'll go by what the computer says. I'm not going to argue with it. Trujillo, 4 innings pitched. Actually, 4 plus, if you want to call it that. 4 plus innings pitched. 6 hits, 4 runs, supposedly all earned. 5 walks, 3 strikeouts. And we go to the top of the 6th. Jose Rijo on shaky ground as well. And he'll be facing none other than Harold Reynolds. He will lead things off. So, what will Harold Reynolds do to make up for things? 6-12, he's going to strike out. That's what he's going to do. Rijo says, sit down, grab some bench. Go watch baseball tonight and learn something. Talk to Peter Gammons or something. Do something. All right, here is Donnell Nixon. 5-4, and that's a fly to center. Donnell, the leadoff hitter, is 0 for 4, and he's flown out to all 3 outfield positions, plus struck out for the cherry on top. So there's 2 down for Phil Bradley. 4-3 Oakland now leading Seattle, as Seattle has committed 3 errors in the game, all in the same inning, no less. 4-4, and that's a fly ball center field X. So Poloni is a 3-E9. 3-20, he'll get to it. E9. Can Polonia not pull a Harold Reynolds? E9, center field. E9, center field. E9, center field. You have to avoid a 3-4, 14, 17, and 18. He ought to be able to do that. And 11 is good enough. So he makes the play to end the inning. So Rijo might go a little further, as he had nothing to count against him that inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still 4-3. Favor of the Oakland A's. Wilkinson back out for his 2nd inning of work. He'll be facing Gallego, Polonia, and Griffin for the Oakland A's here in the bottom of the 6th, 4-3 game. And, of course, Oakland looking to extend their lead in the AL West. 2-6, and that's a strikeout for Gallego. He's out of there, 1 away. That'll take us to Luis Polonia, 1 for 3 for Polonia. It's a 5-5, lefty on lefty. That is a strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Wilkinson. Brings up Alfredo Griffin. He's walked twice, stole 2 bases, and scored twice. 3-6, and he will ground to short this time around. And 1-2-3 inning for Wilkinson. And Wilkinson has been instructed not let the A's hit the ball to second base. That is the decree from Dick Williams. Do not let them hit the ball to second base. So we go to the top of the 7th with the score still 4-3. Rijo not yet completely tired, so he's going to stay out there, although the bullpen for Oakland is ready and willing if they are needed. With some lefties coming up, we could be looking at a lefty out of the bullpen, possibly for Oakland. They do have left-handed pitcher Dave Leeper loosening in the bullpen. Dave Leeper would be loosening in the bullpen for Oakland, as Seattle has a couple of lefties coming up, actually 3 in a row coming up. So What do they do with Rijo? You know what? They're gonna make actually Tony La Russa says, you know what, Rijo, you did enough. We're gonna take you out of there, and we're gonna bring in Dave Leeper. So Leeper will be on to pitch the 6th inning. Then they'll try to turn it over to Eckersley and Howell to finish things out. So Leeper will be coming on. Get the final numbers on Rijo. See what he has done. He is eligible, of course, for the win. And if he gets the win, he would improve to 3-0. Rijo, 6 innings pitched, 10 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. And the 1 home run he gave up to Kingery. So he's eligible for the win. And now Rijo will give way to Leeper. And we'll see if Seattle makes any corresponding moves or they stick and play their hand as they have it. Leeper 0-0. He's only pitched 1 inning all year, so he definitely needs some work. He's 0. He pitched the 1 inning, struck out 2 of the 3 batters he faced. Did no walks, no hits, so he's pretty much been untouchable in his 1 inning, if you want to call that untouchable. Let's see, Scott Bradley is your scheduled hitter. Do the Seattle Mariners swap off with a right-handed catcher? Do they switch catchers is the question. Their other catcher is Bob Kearney, who's a 170 hitter, so I think they're going to stick with Scott Bradley. Lefty notwithstanding. So Leeper will be facing Bradley, lefty on lefty. 3-5, and that's a ground ball to first. McGuire will step on the bag himself on away. And that'll bring up Alvin Davis, another lefty on lefty matchup. Actually, Ken Phelps. Davis is on deck. Phelps, who's 0 for 3. Now, do they swap out Phelps? They may swap out Phelps here. I think they will. They're going to go to somebody else. Anybody else that won't strike out, basically. So they're going to go to John Christensen. And he will stay in the game as the DH. Right-hand hitting John Christensen. As Phelps is gone after going 0 for 3 with 3 Ks. So he pinch hits in the 7th inning. We'll get the numbers on Christensen. I believe he's had limited duty. I think he was a recent call-up. Yep, he has actually not had an at-bat yet. This is his first at-bat of the season. In the regular season, he hit 242, 2 homers, and 12 driven in. So let's see what he can do against the lefty Leeper. 3-9, and that's a walk. So he does draw the base on balls. So he is the tying run at the on base. He doesn't run well, but they're not gonna go anywhere. And here's Alvin Davis. You're not taking Alvin Davis out. I don't care who's on the mound. He stays on the mound. It's 1-9, and that's a solid double to right field for Alvin Davis. Christensen with 1 out. He runs at a 13, does Christensen. 13, so this is actually Christensen now as the DH. Runs at a 13, was not being held, makes him a 14. Reggie's a 0. 1 to 14. Well, the last time we had a 1 to 14, Reggie threw him out. So with 1 out, they're going to hold Christensen at third base. As all of a sudden the cannon arm of Reggie Jackson is coming to play. So Presley is your batter. Now with Presley, the right-hander up there, second and third. What do they walk? They're going to walk Presley intentionally and pitch to the lefty Kingery. Lefty on lefty matchup with the bases loaded, setting up the double play. Kingery lefty on lefty. They could counter with John Moses as a switch hitter, but Kingery's a pretty good hitter, so they want to leave him in there. Bases are loaded with 1 out. Infield back for the double play. 4-5, and that's a 1-4 in-home run chance. That's a 9. That's a 6 rather. It's a fly ball B. It's going to be a sacrifice fly that ties the game. So Mike Kingery, yet another run batted in. He homered in the 4th. He's got a big sacrifice fly here in the 7th, and we got a tie game. So nip and tuck the whole way. That way even Reggie Jackson couldn't throw him out. So now there's 2 outs for Ray Quinones, runners at first and second rather. So it is a clutch situation for Ray Quinones. Against the left-hander, he loses a clutch hit on 2-7. They're going to trust Leaper to get through the end. That's a 1. So now we're looking at Leaper's wild pitch rating. Leaper's wild pitch rating is an 11. So 1 to 11, he throws a wild pitch. And he does not. He blocked by Tettleton. So here's Quinones. 1-6, struck him out, and sticking with Leaper was the right call. But the run does score on the sacrifice fly. 7th inning stretch time here in Oakland, and we are tied at 4 apiece. And I tell you what, managing against myself is really hard to do because you got brilliance against brilliance, and brilliance can't always beat out brilliance. It's usually a tie. So what are you going to do? All right, so the new DH is going to be Christensen, and Wilkinson. Let's see, will he stay in the game? Wilkinson will stay in the game. Facing Lansford. Well, let's see. You got righties coming up. So actually, they're going to pull him. So Wilkinson will be pulled. And they will go to Mark Huseman out of the bullpen. Right-hander Mark Huseman will come on. And we'll get the numbers on Wilkinson. So Wilkinson pitched 2 innings, gave up nothing but a walk and 2 strikeouts, but everything else were zeros. And now Huseman is your batter or your pitcher. And what Leaper's done as well, he went 1 inning, gave up a hit and a run, 2 walks and a strikeout. One of those walks was intentional. And we go to the bottom of the 7th. Tied at 4. 7th inning stretch time. Singing your take me out to the ball games. I'll probably do a quick stretch break real quick. Move around a bit. Hello, Prague. How you doing? So I'm going to stand up just a quick second. Make sure I've still got room on the... Yeah, this goes way over to here. You can still see it, so that's good. All right, I'm going to take a quick stretch break, and then we'll get ready for Lansford, Canseco, and Jackson taking on Mark Huseman in a 4-4 tie here at the 7th inning stretch. I have no ukuleles, and I will not sing, so you were both in good shape that way. Everybody saved that disaster. All right, so we are ready to roll. Carney Lansford steps up against Huseman. Huseman on the replay is 1-1 with a save. Oops, that's Wilkinson's numbers. Let me get Huseman. I got to bring Huseman in the game, then give you his numbers. So Huseman's 0-1 with no saves and a 7.71 earned run average. 9 innings pitched, 14 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. So here we go against Carney Lansford. 5-4. And that's an in-home run chance, 1 to 15. That's an 18. It'll be a double for Carney Lansford. Leadoff double for Lansford. And now the A's are in business again. Canseco is up. First base is open if they choose to give him a free pass. Canseco's only 1 for 3, though, so they're going to pitch turn. 2-7, and that's a 1-7 single. That's a 1. That 1 comes up again. It's a 1-star single. Puts runners at first and third. Nobody out for Reggie Jackson. Infield is going to have to play in. They have no choice. They don't want to give up any more runs. They don't want to fall behind again. Took them this long to tie it. 212, and that's, look at that, Reggie Jackson. How about you, Reggie? 212. That is a solid home run. No D. You don't even need the D20. Get the D20 out of here. 212. It's gone. Reggie, Mr. October, has done it here in April. His third home run of the season, a 3-run shot. The old Earl Weaver 3-run homer. A 3-run bomb for Reggie Jackson. His third of the season. RBIs 9, 10, and 11. And the A's take a 7-4 lead. And poor Mr. Huseman doesn't know what hit him. Now the Seattle bullpen's loosening again, but they need time to warm up. So Huseman's going to have to gut it out. Here's McGuire. 3-8 for McGuire, struck him out. 1 away for Mickey Tettleton, switch hitting catcher. 6-9, switch hitter batting left to pop out the first. That's 2 away. And that'll bring up Stan Javier with 2 outs and the bases clear. 6-12, switch hitter. Ground ball shortstop X, that's Quinones. He's a 3-E31. 3 and a 9 should be okay. Let's check it out. 3 and a 9. 3 and a 9 is a G3. That's good enough. And at shortstop, he's an E31. So he's got to avoid 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. 3, 4, 6, and then 15 through 18. And that is a 14. That looks like it's bad news. No, it's not. It's 15 through 18. So the 14 is good. So again, Quinones showing Harold Reynolds how it's done. And he says, I should have been on baseball tonight because I can field. And he does. And he throws out Javier to end the inning. But the 3-run home run by the ancient, I would say ancient Mariner, but it was against the Mariners. Stan Javier strikes, grounds to short to end the inning, but Reggie, 3-run home run, and that has given the A's a 3-run lead, 7-4 as we go to the 8th, and that's all for Leapers. So the A's need a new pitcher, and we'll see who they might actually go to Gene Nelson now that they got a 3-run lead. They might save Eckersley or Howell for a closer situation. Let's see what they choose to do. Nelson has pitched 14 innings so far. Eckersley has pitched 15. Howell has pitched 10. The other guy, Rodriguez. They're going to go to Gene Nelson. Gene Full Nelson will be coming on to pitch for Oakland. He's 1-0 with no saves and a 4.50 earned run average. 14 innings pitched, 17 hits, 7 walks, and 18 strikeouts. And who does he face to lead off the inning but Mr. Harold Reynolds? That's assuming if Seattle wants to bat Harold Reynolds. They may make a switch here and go with Domingo Ramos instead. And that's exactly what they're going to do. So no more Harold Reynolds. He is out of there. Domingo Ramos will take over and play second base the rest of the way. But Domingo Ramos is also a 311 hitter, so that's why he's in there. They need bats. So Ramos pinch hits here in the 8th and plays second base in the 8th. Ramos. And Ramos is a 4E27. And he runs at a 12. All right, so Ramos will lead things off against Nelson. Let's get the replay numbers on Ramos. Ramos is 0 for 4. He's only had limited duties, so he needs to get some more at bats. He was a 311 hitter in real world, but he hadn't had enough at bats. Got to give him some playing time. 1-8, and he singles. So the managing move pays off. Was there any doubt on that? Leadoff single. And here's Donnell Nixon. He is 0 for 4. against Nelson. 1 again. What's new? You know you're going to have the 1. So now Nelson's wild pitch rating come to play, and Nelson's wild pitch rating is an 11. But it's no wild pitch, so Nixon wants to swing away. 1-9, and that's a single to center field. They will hold Ramos at second base with nobody out. Now the tying runs at the plate. Infield Bradley. And Bradley is 1 for 3. So he definitely could use something to help his team. Nelson trying to wiggle out of trouble. Oh, we got hopping dice again. 4-7, and that's a walk. That's going to load the bases, and now Nelson may not be in this game very much longer as the bases are loaded. And Jay Howell is loosening the bullpen. So here's Bradley, the other Bradley, with the bases loaded and nobody out. Infield back for the double play. They need outs. And Nelson needs to definitely get an out. Oh, another, boy, got excited dice here. 2-5, and that's a pop out to first, infield fly rule. That was a good break for Nelson there to get an out with nobody advancing. Infield fly rule pops it up, and now here's Christensen. Christensen up there against Nelson. Bases loaded. Infield still looking for the double play. 4-3. It's a ground ball, first base X. Nobody's being held, so McGuire will keep his 3 and see if they can turn a double play as a 3. Now I got hopping dice all over the place. Now the new D, well, you know what? I'm going to go back to this D20. The other D20 didn't seem to do any better than the first one, so we're going to try it again. 18. That could be good for McGuire at first base. And 18. 3 and 18 is a G1. So now he's got an E12, so he's got to avoid 6. He's got to avoid 3, 6, 9, 15, and 18. And it's a 9, so we got another error. Can anybody feel in this game? There it is. There it is, McGuire, E12. And a 9 is sitting right there in the middle of a one-base error. So instead of a double play that ends the inning, we get an E3 that scores a run. They all need to watch baseball tonight. Or baseball bunch or something. I don't know. Learn how to field. So it's the 5th error of the game. This one on Mr. McGuire. Can't blame Nelson. He should have been out of the inning for sure. Here's Alvin Davis. But they got to pull Nelson because they got to. They need somebody that's going to get a strikeout or get out of it very quickly. So here's Howell. He will be coming on. Jay Howell. Nelson's not going to last very long. He's going to pitch a third of an inning, give up 2 hits and a walk. 1 run, but the other 3 are his responsibility as well. So Tony La Russa, not exactly a happy camper. So Jay Howell will be summoned from the Athletics bullpen. They were hoping to wait until the 9th inning for this, but they can wait no longer. Howell comes into the replay 1-1 with 5 saves, a 1.86 earned run average, 10 innings pitched, 6 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. So Howell looking to close the deal. Infield is looking for the double play. Bases are still loaded with 1 out. Howell to Alvin Davis, who has 2 doubles and a single. He's 3 for 4. 2-9. Ground ball pitcher A, they get the double play they needed. 1-6-3 double play ends the inning. Seattle can only get the 1 run. It is earned, but they could have got a whole lot more, particularly since they were down by 2 runs. But Jay Howell gets it done. He induces the double play grounder. to get him out of the inning. It's 7-5. And now Ramos will take over at second base for Seattle. So Jay Howell gets the job done. Nelson will give it the 1 run. That's it. It is 8-5. I'm sorry, 7-5, not 8-5, 7-5. Line score for Oakland, 7 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. For Seattle, 5 runs, 13 hits, and 3 errors. Huseman back out, and he will be facing Gallego, Polonia, and Griffin. Oops, not Presley. Gallego, Polonia, and Griffin due up for Oakland here in the bottom of the 8th of a 7-5 game. 6-5, and that's a strikeout for Huseman. So Huseman gets another strikeout. And that'll send up the top of the order in Luis Polonia. 3-7 for Polonia, another strikeout. So Huseman coming back with a vengeance here in this 8th inning. Back-to-back strikeouts. And here's Griffin. 4-9, and that is a ground ball to second. That's going to do it. 1, 2, 3. Go the A's here in the 8th. We go to the bottom of top of the 9th, and it's the last chance for Seattle. They will have to do it against Jay Howell. 7-5, top of the 9th. Howell will now be facing Presley, Kingery, and Quinones, the scheduled hitters for Seattle. On the Seattle bench remaining as pinch hitters, you do have John Moses. And we also have Kearney and Rich Renteria, 3 pinch hitters possibly available. Moses looks like the most logical guy that might come in. We'll see what happens. The Hound Dog is going to lead it off. Hello, Chuck. How you doing? Top of the 9th, 7-5. Oakland trying to get their 15th win here in April and go to 15-4. 4-4. Catcher X. First catcher X of the game. Tettleton's a 3. 3 and a 2. Wonder if that can be a hit. Might be a little dribbler in front of the plate for the catcher. Let's find out. 3 and a 2 is a WG, so that should be a ground out. Assuming there's no error. He's an E7. He's got to avoid 3, 15, 16, and 18. That is a 13. I think he's still okay. A 15 would be an error, but not a 13. So a W/G with nobody on base is just going to be a number in front of the plate that Tettleton will throw out Presley for out number 1. So 1 down, and that takes us over to Kingery. He has homered, hit a sacrifice fly, and singled. He's had a good night. 6-7, but this time he strikes out. Howell gets him. 2 down, and it's up to Ray Quinones, unless they want to pinch hit. Quinones is a 276 hitter. Let's look at Moses. Moses for Seattle. Moses was a 246 hitter, so they're better off with Quinones. Even though Moses is a switch hitter, they will stick with Quinones. Quinones does have 2 hits in this game. That's a 6-8, and that's a 1. Whoops. 6-8. That is a 1-8 for a triple, 9-20 for a double. That's a 17. It will be a double for Quinones, so sticking with Quinones was the right move as he doubles. And the tying run is at the plate in the form of Domingo Ramos. Ramos did hit 2 home runs on the season. Does have normal power against righties. So I think we're going to stick with Ramos against Jay Howell. Clutch situation. He loses a hit on 1-3 on the clutch. Look at all these anti-clutches. Maybe I better take him out. Look at all these. He's got 4 anti-clutches on column 1. 4 of them. Unbelievable. 1-3, 1-7, 1-8, 1-9 are all anti-clutch. Do they go with Moses or do they go with Ron? Well, they got to, because they could put Renteria. Let's see. They may not have anybody play second base because let's see. Renteria, is he rated for second base? Yes, he is. Not well, but he is rated. So Ramos will be pulled due to the anti-clutch, and they will bring in John Holy Moses to pinch hit. So Moses will pinch hit as the tying run. And if it goes to the bottom of the ninth, they will use Renteria to play second base. So Moses will pinch hit. And we get the numbers on Moses. That leaves Kearney and Renteria, the only two bench players remaining. So Moses on the replay is hitting 160, 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. But he is a switch hitter, so he might get something good off that Howell left-hand side. 2-4 from Moses, and that's a pop out to third. There's your ball game. So Seattle gave it a tough go, but they lose it by the score of 7-5. Jay Howell will get the save. Rijo will get the win. We go to the box score to get all the pertinent totals and set you up for the next game. So for Oakland, 7 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Seattle, 5 runs, 14 hits, and 3 errors. Seattle left on 13. They left 13 runners on. Oakland left 7. So the story of the game were the errors and the left on bases. That's pretty much what cost them. So the winning pitcher was actually Dave Leeper, not Rijo. I stand corrected, as Leeper gets the win. And he is 1-0. He gets a win and a blown save at the same time. But he does get the win because he pitched the 7th inning, so he gets those 3 runs they scored. And the loss goes to Huseman, who went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits and 3 runs, all earned, no walks and 3 strikeouts. But he gave up the big 3-run home run to Reggie Jackson, who is the player of the game, Reggie Jackson. So Huseman takes the loss. He's now 0-2. Jay Howell, the save, his 6th of the season. And Howell goes 1 2/3. 1 hit, nothing else but a strikeout. So it's nice to have the dual combination of Howell and Eckersley in the bullpen to really take the back end of the games and turn them in your favor. So Oakland improves to 15-4. Seattle drops to 8-11. And again, Leeper the winner, 1-0. Huseman the loser, 0-2. Howell his 6th save. Home runs in the game. Kingery hit his 3rd, but none was bigger than the 3rd home run by Reggie Jackson. 3-run shot in the bottom of the 7th, breaking a 4-4 tie. So Reggie Jackson is your player of the game. So final game of the series, final game of the replay on April the 26th will send us to the Mistake by the Lake in Cleveland, and it will be Tommy John against Tom Candiotti, a battle of Johns. Knuckleballer Tom Candiotti against the surgery-prone Tommy John. And that will finish out the April 26th schedule, which was a Sunday. And then we go to Monday, April 27th. There's only 3 games scheduled. Boston at Oakland, Detroit at Seattle, and Milwaukee at California. That's the only 3 games. So all the other teams will have that Monday off. But Boston at Oakland is going to have Bob Stanley against Kurt Young. Detroit's going to have Frank Tanana against Mark Langston. That'll be a good matchup in the Kingdom. And then Juan 19th Nieves breakdown for Milwaukee against Mike Witt. And those will be the 3 games that will be played on the 27th of April, which is a Monday. Then on Tuesday, we get a whole batch of new series starting. Baltimore will be at Kansas City. Chicago will be at Cleveland. Minnesota will be at Toronto. And the Yankees will be in Texas. So a lot of new matchups coming up as we get towards the end of April. So, but it'll be the Yankees in Cleveland, and Cleveland will be getting Brett Butler back in a few days. I believe 1st of May he comes back. They've been missing him immensely, so they will like to have him back. So that's the next game on the video, probably be Thursday night, although I might sneak it in tomorrow night, depends on my schedule and how I'm feeling and what's going on. But that's going to do it from here. Hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic Super Advanced 1987 style, as the A's take out the Mariners by the final score of 7-5. Don't forget to tune into RJL as he resumes his 1983 season in Inside Pitch and in Fall Classic, as he rotates that in the 1983 season. So check that out as he comes off the All-Star break, and after a day of resting his voice, he'll be ready to go for tomorrow night. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.